Hi, welcome back with our special interview with Gandhi. Now let's focus on why you're ultimately the greatest leader of all time. Why were people willing to follow your lead?
Well, I focused on maintaining great relationships with other people and gave my attention to others and to their needs and showed others that I would not ask them to do anything that I would not do. I was imprisoned on multiple occasions, but it didn't even affect the way I did things, my peaceful way of doing things. Being under the power of British people, I actually lacked legitimate power, but people still came to see me and hear my speeches and my peaceful protests, like the Salt March, in which we intentionally broke the unjust salt laws by marching 240 miles to the sea and making salt ourselves. People also saw the logic in my ideas and believed that they were a realistic means to achieving the goal of freedom for India, since previous ways have obviously failed. And I came up with, a better way of doing things.
Well, it sounds like you were really able to inspire a large number of people in your mission. Are there other personal characteristics of yours that you feel helped inspire so many people to follow your lead?
Well, ultimately, I was able to instill hope in underprivileged populations because they trusted me. I did this by demonstrating vision, empathy, consistency, and integrity. I created a vision of a peaceful, collaborative world that pulled my followers together on the basis of the shared belief. On multiple occasions, I brought together oppressed populations of poor people, women, and people of India to empower them to work toward changing this unjust treatment. When they had trouble finding motivation, I gave them a shared purpose. I also give off a sense of empathy with my followers. I acted on my dissatisfaction, and I always put myself in the position of the oppressed. I did not dress in fancy clothing, as you can see, and I frequently participated in hunger strikes to show off that I understood the suffering of my followers. I'm consistent in my actions. Despite being sent to prison and facing ridicule, I returned to my mission consistently with peace. My people knew that I would not give up on our goal, which inspired more people to follow. And finally, I acted with a strong integrity, demonstrating my commitment to human rights through my passive resistance campaign. I always say, an ounce of practice is worth more than tons of preaching.
Well, Gandhi, it's very clear that you were able to relate to your followers very well. Are there any specific tactics that you felt you used most effectively in leading your people?
Well, I feel like I used rational persuasion by preaching on why nonviolent resistance was the most effective means to achieving freedom. They had already tried violence in the past in India and proved to be ineffective and actually weakened India's chances at freedom. The people of India generally lacked the resources to be able to overthrow the British, including knowledge and leadership. The Indian people could control their actions and did not have to participate in the actions that aided the British. Nonviolent protest and withdrawal of participation in the economic activities of which Britain profited were ultimately effective. We used inspirational appeals by communicating to the followers that their actions could have a dramatic effect and that ultimately they could achieve their freedom and create more prosperous life for themselves. We use spiritual ideas to inspire individuals to be nonviolent while still making progress towards their goals.
Okay, so with all that said, what legacy would you like to leave behind?
I think the legacy that I would like to leave behind is that of a pioneer of new ideas that helped others no matter the situation. I inspired a divided society to work together to achieve their goals, and I related to all people regardless of class or religion, and inspired people to believe in their own abilities and their own influence. I led by example, and ultimately my followers and I were able to gain independence for India. The ideas that I preached influenced many future leaders to use similar means and achieve their goals in the face of great adversity.
Thank you so much for your time, Gandhi, and it is clear that Gandhi is the greatest leader of all time.